Well, hey everyone, this puts a new perspective on things, doesn't it? Just trying out a little bit of a different setup here, but I still haven't made the decision of whether I'm going to stick with LastPass or switch, but either way, I am going to come up with a new master password. And so I thought I'd show you the process that I go through to create a nice, secure password that you don't have to worry about if something like what just happened with LastPass actually happens. Again, that's the exact scenario we were all preparing ourselves for. So the method I use is called Diceware. And the idea is you're randomly selecting words from a really long list. And so in this case, the list is 7,776 words. And the reason why is because that's 5 rolls of a 6-sided die, or you can use 5 6-sided die and roll it. And so you have this word list that each of those numbers comports to. And so a Diceware password is when you just come up with a number of random words based on that. And so the key question then is, how do you remember it? Well, you want it to be a long password. I'm doing a 5-word password, and I'll show you how I do that. You want to be able to remember it. Well, I'm going to teach you a mnemonic method that will let you remember any list of any number of randomly generated words. Okay? So I'm going to do that with this Diceware password generator that I'm linking to. If you don't trust that, everything here, all of the random numbers and everything is client-side, so nothing is sent over to the server. If you don't trust that, then there's a GitHub that they have where you can go and download it and run it just on your computer. If you don't trust that, because you want to make absolutely sure there's no malware or anything, just grab you some dice. Get the word list and do it yourself. So I'm going to have 5 random words, and that's going to end up being about 52 bits of entropy, which is pretty darn good. And then with the password iterations that you have in LastPass and all these other managers, if you set that to 2 million, 2 to the 21 bits is a little over 2 million. So that's basically another 2 bits. I'm going to have over 64 bits of entropy when it's all done. And that's with 5 words. Now, I'm actually going to create 7, and I'll tell you why. The first 2 are a password hint. And so you see that way, like if you have a really dumb idea of making your mother's maiden name, your password, that's not very secure. If you're even dumber and set your password hint to mother's maiden name, consider that the password hint is public and it's open and the hackers can get it, everyone can get it. So in this case, the password hint is going to be randomly generated. It'll have nothing to do with the password. It only links up because of the mnemonic that you're going to do. And one more thing before I do this, you maybe say, well, Shane, isn't it dumb? You're just telling everyone how you generate passwords. Well, that's Kirchhoff's principle. I should be able to tell you everything about how I generated my master password, except for the die rolls, except for the actual words. And there should still be no way you can get the password. That's security. If you try to hide the method or whatever you're doing, that's obscurity, not security. So keep that in mind. So 7 die rolls. Let's get some words. Now again, this will help you remember any length of words. It doesn't even have to be a Diceware password. It could be a seed phrase for a Bitcoin wallet or something like that. Okay, I got confound kitty, backward ligament, skipper, brook coming. And I had no idea it was going to do that. So I've made no preparations for this, but I'm going to show you how you can make a password like this. Not this one, because I'm broadcasting it on the internet. But how you can make a password like this, your master password that you can remember, and you'll just never forget it. You'll just never forget it. So the first 2 are going to be, remember, our hint, and the hint is confound kitty. Now, what we want to do is we want to get an image in our head based on that. And so we got a little kitty, and it's cute, but it's confounded. It's a confounded kitty. Wow. Confound kitty. And then we use that to link up to the first word of our master password, and that is backward. So confound kitty backward. The reason why the kitty is confounded is something is backward. What's backward? Well, that's up to you. It's whatever you can remember. You know, if you're thinking of the kitty itself, maybe is going backwards and is like, I don't understand. Why am I going backwards? Why should I be going forwards? So now that links you into the password. So then we look at kitty backward ligament. So now we've dropped the word confound. That's key to this. You don't want these to kind of accumulate because that's just going to make it harder and harder to remember, you know, longer words like longer master passwords or crypto seed wallets, phrases, things like that. So we're dropping the confound and we're doing kitty backward ligament. Our kitty has a backward ligament. It's got a limb that's going backwards. That's kind of weird. You know, and it's probably cute because it walks in a cute and funny way. So, cute things are easy to remember. Violent things are easy to remember. Sexual things are easy to remember if you want to do that. This word list has taken out all of the sexual and offensive stuff and things like that, but it's up to you however you want to remember it. So, yeah, there are techniques about things that people generally find easier to remember, but you know yourself and you know the things that you in particular will be easy to remember. So, we got the kitty with the backward ligament. Now we're dropping the kitty. We can say bye-bye, kitty. It's backward ligament skipper. Okay, this one's going to be a challenge, but you got the skipper, a skipper of a boat, maybe the skipper from Gilligan's Island. Hey, little buddy, there's a backward ligament. You know, maybe a skipper's looking at we can keep the kitty in if we want to. Give the kitty, skipper, look, little buddy, Gilligan, look, there's a kitty with a backward ligament there. So it's backward ligament skipper. Or maybe he's the skipper who's in charge of backward ligaments. I don't know. Backward ligaments, the name of the boat. I don't know. However you can remember it. And then skipper Brook. Okay, the ligament, we're dropping the backward. The ligament skipper is going down a brook. You know, his boat is going down a brook, and we're calling it the ligament, I guess. And the skipper Brook is coming. He's coming. He's on the way. The skipper is on the brook on his boat, and he's coming our way. You get it? Confound kitty, backward ligament, skipper Brook coming. And if you remember that mnemonic, we got the confounded kitty because he's going backwards. He's got a backward ligament, and the skipper's in charge of that. And the skipper of the ligament is going down a brook, and he's coming this way. And you can keep going with that. So, what I would do is make basically a flashcard, put the confound kitty, your hint, on the front, and the backward ligament skipper Brook coming, the actual password, on the other side of it. And just look at the confound kitty and see if you can you might have memorized this already. That's how this is. Again, don't use this one, but that's how you do it. The confound kitty should get the rest. Just try it, you know, when you're taking a shower, when you're lying in bed about to go to sleep. Just try and see if you can remember the password. And I find that I've pretty much got it solid in less than a day. It doesn't take me long to do this using this technique, so I think this is good. Also, practice typing it. Just type it over and over and over again, because you will be typing it into your password generator. So, yeah, I mean, again, this won't take long, and it'll be secure, and you won't have to worry if some hacker, you know, hacks his way into, you know, whatever password manager you use and gets the encrypted password vaults, because you'll have it encrypted with such an amazingly strong password that it won't matter, especially if you up the iterations to something like 2 million. So thanks so much. I guess that's it. If you got any further questions, you can ask them in the comments, and if I think they're important enough, I might make a follow-up video to this. But that's how you do it. That's how you memorize these long, secure passwords, or, again, Bitcoin seed wallets, or whatever, crypto, you know, Dash, Monero, whatever. They make those seeds that are however many words long. You can remember them. You can memorize them. After it's memorized, you just shred that flashcard that you made, or burn it or something just to make sure it's gone from the universe. And then it's done. And then the only place it has to live is your memory. I do recommend having it secure somewhere like with all your important papers, like your birth certificate and all that, just in case something happens to you. You know, I know we don't like thinking about this sort of thing, but your heirs are going to need to get into your accounts and things like that. And if they have your master password, then they'll be able to do that. So, you can keep it in a secure place where you keep all your other important papers. Otherwise, it just lives up here. So, that's it. Thank you so much. Comments for the Comment God, shares for the Share Throne. Please hit like, subscribe, and the bell. And go to donate.bogosity.tv. You can donate with crypto or PayPal or all sorts of other ways, or become a regular supporter at Patreon and Subscribe Star. Thank you so very much. Until next time, stay strong and be free.